All right, you guys, so I was in the middle of doing the extra credit and accidentally hit the power button on my computer. I thought I lost the whole recording, and I'm so glad I did not. So anyway, this is split up into two, and I'm so glad I don't have to start over. So here's question number 23, okay? If you have an absolute value with an equal sign, you've got to remember the steps. Step 1, get it alone. So the 4 comes over. Step 2, split it in 2. And when you do that, you drop the absolute value symbol. The 4 comes over on the left. You get negative x equals 1. Change your signs. X equals negative 1. Right here, negative x equals negative 9. Change your signs, positive 9. You guys, there are a ton of questions on this midterm that are checkable. So if you put in a negative 1 right here, you'd get 4 minus a negative 1, which is 4 plus 1. 5, absolute value 5 is a 5. Is 5 minus 4 1? Yes. Put in a 9. 5 minus 9 is a negative 5. Absolute value of negative 5 is 5. 5 minus 4 is a 1. So right there, in 20 seconds or whatever that was, I checked it. So you really, really, really need to take the time to check these, okay? Okay, here's question number 24. So the first thing I need to do is get a common denominator. So the common denominator is just going to be x minus 1. This guy right here did not have the x minus 1, so I distribute, and I get x to the second minus x. This guy does have the minus 1, so I put a plus 2. Then I'm going to put a factored version right next to it. So x and x. It actually does not factor, which is strange. And I actually remember this happening last year. And so it's okay. It's unusual, but it's all right. Okay, so let's list what we need. So we need to know x-intercepts, y-intercepts, vertical asymptote, non-vertical asymptote, and does it cross? So to find the x-intercept, I'm going to let y be a 0, which is the same as letting the top be a 0, but the top doesn't factor. So I'm going to have to use quadratic. So I'm going to go x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus 4 times 1 times 2 all over 2 times 1, which is 2. So now I would do this, and I can see right there I'm going to get a negative inside my square root. So it's 1 plus or minus the square root of a negative 7 over 2. And I'm not going to list an imaginary x-intercept. So therefore the x-intercept is none. To find the y-intercept, you let x be a 0. So if you let x be a 0, these go away. You get 2 over negative 1, which is a negative 2. Okay? Vertical asymptotes come from the bottom. So set x minus 1 equal to 0. You get x equals 1. You have 1x minus 1, so this is odd. Non-vertical, biggest over biggest, x squared is bigger than x, so I know it's going to be an oblique. So I'm going to come down here, x minus 1 on the outside, x to second minus x plus 2 on the inside. What do I multiply by x to get x to second? That's an x. Distribute x to second minus x. Change your signs. They both cancel. I have bring down my 2, and I have to have at least 2 terms, and I'm out. So the 2 is my remainder, and it's y equals x. Okay? Does it cross a non-vertical? You take the right side of the non-vertical, set it equal to the multiplied out version of the original, and then you cross multiply, and you get x to the second minus x equals x to the second minus x plus 2. This x squared comes over and knocks that out. That x comes over and knocks that out. You get 0 equals 2. That's a false statement. I'm going to make those not equal to. And the answer is no. No, it does not cross. Okay, so I'm going to draw this in. So it's going to hit right here. I have an asymptote right here at x equals 1. I have another asymptote right here at y equals 0. I'm going to get rid of this work right here so you can see my graph very clearly. Okay. Okay, so here's my graph. 0, negative 2 is down here, and it never touches the x-axis. Okay. You guys, if you look at the left side, this asymptote, by the way, is odd. If you look at the left-hand side, guys, your graph is either going to come up like this, and I know I have to end over here, or it's going to come down like this. Well, there's no way it's going to be up, because in order to get to where I need to go, I have to touch the x-axis, and I cannot touch the x-axis. So it is not up, it's got to be down. So then I'm going to be down like this, come over, swing up, hit it, bounce down, goes like this, okay? Now on the quiz, I was pretty picky with you guys, and the reason is I just want you to get this right, and they make me be so picky. So just like make it keep going out like that, but don't let it look vertical, and then it's going to look like that. Okay, this asymptote is odd, so if I'm down on the left, I need to be up on the right. So this guy's going to be up high, come down, swing, go like that. Okay, now look at my drawing here. It almost looks like it's not a function, so that is not good. So just be like so tedious and careful and swing that guy over. Okay, here's another piece of advice I have for you. Once you're done with this midterm, if they give you a Y scale, then I would grab my calculator and I'd throw some values in. Like I'd put in a 2, and then I'd make sure that my graph was exactly at the right spot. I'd throw in a 3, I'd throw in a 4, I'd throw in like a -1 and a -2 and a -3 and maybe a 0.5 and kind of clean it up a little bit, okay? Okay, that was 24. Here's 25. Okay, an accepted relationship between stopping distance and the speed of a car is given by this equation. How many feet will it take a car traveling 55 miles an hour to stop on dry level concrete? Okay, so your X is your V and your Y is your D. And the V stands for the speed, the velocity, and it's in miles per hour. And the D is the distance, and that would be in feet. So they say, how many feet will it take a car traveling 55 miles per hour? Well, miles per hour is an X value. So I know I'm going to put that 55 in for X, which is V. So it's D equals 1.3 times 55 plus 0.09 times 55 squared. Put that in your calculator, and you get 43.8 miles per hour. Okay, part B, if an accident occurs 230 feet ahead of you, what is the maximum speed you should be traveling? Okay, so this is confusing. I don't like the wording maximum speed because it makes you think negative b over 2a. This is not negative b over 2a. So you guys, whenever we do the negative b over 2a, we're taking an equation that is not equal to 0, but just the equation, and we're maximizing it, negative b over 2a. Well, that's not what we're doing on this. So on this, they're saying if the distance is 230 feet. So I'm actually taking that distance and I'm putting a number in for it, which is 230. So now I'm solving an equation where up here, I was just trying to maximize that guy. So if I move my 230 over, I have 0.09 v squared plus 1.3 v minus 230 equals 0. Do you see how it's equal to 0? And up here it is not equal to 0. So, you know, this, if they asked me to maximize that, it'd just be negative b over 2a. It's not equal to 0. This guy's equal to 0. I have to solve using quadratic formula. So I know it's confusing and I'm sorry. Okay, so let's do quadratic formula. So you go v equals negative 1.3 plus or minus the square root of 1.3 squared. Now, I'm so sorry, but I don't have a calculator with me. I just have my phone calculator. And so it's going to be kind of hard for me to do this. So it's 1.69 minus 4 times 0.09 times c, which is negative 230, all over 2 times 0.09. Okay, now when you put this in your calculator, you have to go parenthesis, 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 parenthesis. Okay, all right, so do this with me. I'm going to see if it works on my phone. Okay, so I'm going to go parenthesis, Let me clear this out. Parenthesis. And then I'm going to go negative 1.3, and I don't even see the negative sign. No. Oh, yeah. Parenthesis, negative 1.3. No. Okay. Plus second x squared 1.69 minus 4 parenthesis 0.09, close it, new parenthesis, negative 230, close it, close it, close it, parenthesis, 2 times 0.09. You get that answer and you put it here. And then you hit you hit up arrow until you get back on it. Go to the right until you're on top of the positive, make it a negative, and you're going to get your second answer. Now, I'm so sorry, but I don't have a calculator with me. My daughter's asleep, and I do not want to wake her up. And so I'm just going to tell you what the right answer is. So it's 40. Okay, so this is actually wrong. See this A? I'm so sorry, guys. I just don't have a calculator. I should have brought one, but... So this is 433.8 up there. This guy down here is the 43.8, okay? And this is feet. And this is a y coordinate, so it's velocity, so it's miles per hour. You're going to get some kind of negative number there, okay? So you're going to say invalid solution. You're going to take the one that works. You're going to highlight just that one, and you're done. Now, you can totally check it. Store an exact value of that 43.8 into your calculator. Put it over here. Plug it in, and you should get a 0. Okay? Okay, last one, number 26. Graph this piecewise function. Okay, sorry about the calculator thing, but at least I'm here on Thursday morning helping you when I should be relaxing. Okay, so there's your piecewise function. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and graph it. So this first one is y equals 3x minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to go down 2 and make a dot. And then I'm going to go up 3 and right 1, up 3 and right 1, down 3 and left 1. And there is that graph right there. Okay, now that whole line is not supposed to be there. The only part supposed to be there is when it's less than 2. So here's 2. So less than 2 stays. So bigger than 2 goes. And I don't have an equal sign either. So that value right there is going to be open like that point. So it's going to look like this. And that's it. Okay. This guy right here, the equation is y equals x minus 3 to the second. That's a parabola shifted to the right 3. So I'm going to graph this guy in red. So I'm going to go right 3, make a dot. And then it's a normal stretch, so right 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, right 2, up 4, left 2, up 4. That's only supposed to be there if it's greater than or equal to 2. I do have an equal sign. There's my 2. So it's going to carry over, and it's going to go like that. Okay? Make your circles super clear so there's no question. And that's it. Guys, have a great weekend.